after I did all my stuff and I did my TV stuff with NASCAR and everything, got the opportunity to come back and do some Trans Am racing again, it literally felt like home to me because, I've known so many people in Trans Am for so long, and it's just fun. It's fun to be here. I never thought about, why doesn't Trans Am have a Hall of Fame? But then when Tony told me about it, a couple years ago, I'm like, holy cow, yeah, no kidding.
Wally Dallenbach Jr., the late Wally Dallenbach, the original, was an underrated IndyCar driver who became the most respected race steward that Open Wheel has ever known. So it was perhaps predictable that his son, Wally Dallenbach Jr., would be bitten early by the racing bug. But it was by no means a given that he would come to be so accomplished as a road racer.
1984, we had a dually pickup truck, a 26-foot Dillon trailer. It was my sister, myself, and my sister's boyfriend. We went Trans Am racing.
We had no idea what we were doing, but we did well enough to where the Trans Am series put me on the map.
Trans Am literally gave me an opportunity, and I've been blessed that I've been able to drive so many different race cars in my career. But it was because of Trans Am.
Driving a Chevrolet Camaro against the seemingly unbeatable Roush Mercury Capri, Dallenbach Jr. put in a huge effort to capture fourth in the championship, despite not winning a race, and earning himself Rookie of the Year honors.
Most of my success in road racing has been in Bob Riley cars. You had Gary Pratt and Charlie Seelitz and Jack Roush, and it was like, the 85 was like a magical year for me because I went from my sister and my sister's boyfriend and I going to these tracks, to getting a shot, with a factory race team, and it was like, yeah, it's just hard. It doesn't happen like that these days.
At 22 years old, he became the youngest ever Trans Am champion, and as if to prove it wasn't a fluke, Dallenbach jumped ship to race Camaros again in '86 and earned his second straight title by a huge margin.
So you had a lot of young drivers that were trying to make names for themselves. And I mean, the factories were looking for young talent. And it wasn't, I have to come with a dump truck full of money in order to do it. So it was definitely different times. We did a lot of races the same weekend as Indy cars. Went to Detroit with Formula One. So there were big crowds. There was lots of eyeballs. So it was a special time to be in.
Everybody in this room that's been inducted, I've either raced against, driven for, rode motorcycles with on our Colorado 500, Parnelli and Dan Gurney and Penske. And a lot of guys that I raced with then, that I'm racing against on Sunday. I have so much respect for everybody in this series because it gave me a career.
When they talk about the glory days in the 70s or whatever, I'm sorry, but there was factory everybody then. You had Nissan there, and you had, Paul Miller with the Porsches, and you had Chevrolet and Ford and Pontiac, and they all had at least 2 or 3 cars. And I mean, it was a dogfight.
My dad was inducted in so many Hall of Fames, I've lost count. Broke out the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Hall of Fame ring tonight that I'm wearing, and I'll tell you what, I wish they were here, my mom and dad, to share this. I miss them, and I just found out my brother is being inducted into the Pikes Peak Hall of Fame this week, so it's great for our family. But you guys really mean the world to me, and it's a privilege.
Not sure how much longer I'm going to be doing this, because I have been doing it for a long time. So a lot of race car drivers don't get to choose how they go out, but this is how I want to end my career. Is I want to be in a Trans Am car, and when I call it a day, I'm with my buddies, and I'm racing against all the people I love. So yeah, Trans Am is special.